It's kind of funny how this episode's talking about weight loss, extreme measures, and then 10 years later, we have Ozempic everywhere.
Ooh, that's a hot mug, guy.
Hey guys, this is my review for The Purge, which, contrary to its title, has nothing to do with the series that had only started just about like a year prior in 2013. This episode follows the brothers going to a workout place because people are being literally sucked dry of their fat. First off, the kills, the first two kills that happen, the guy in the car and then the lady at the gym, both of those kills are great. Those are terrifying kills. And it's rare to see something spooky and supernatural. I have to say that they've had two good monsters so far. They've had the weird dude who ate dogs and cats and whatnot and was taking over their their personality traits. And then we have this thing, which is a Peruvian monster of some sort. Really terrifying thing. Pretty good idea. The fucking fat too in the jar. Like, this is as close as Supernatural could get to body horror on cable TV in some ways, I find. I would say like the first half, even the first 3/4 is pretty solid. The mystery, the horror, the monster, how they go about taking out the monster, kind of with, you know, it turns out that there's actually two sides to it, that the main lady, she's trying to figure out a way to assimilate with society. And considering we just had the episode with Garth and the werewolves, pretty par for the course, seeing that monsters can in fact assimilate. But obviously she has a brother who is a monster and apparently just loves to suck people dry. And yet the fact that they've got like multiple tubs of fat in the fridge and apparently he's still hungry. Also, this is the introduction of that one sheriff character. I can't remember her name, but the South Dakotan one. The one who would kind of keep coming back every so often, and she was going to be part of the Wayward Winchesters, but that never happened. But I liked her and Jodie's banter later on, but I think if I'm correct, we won't see her again in this season. She's like, oh yeah, I just drink a milkshake every day. It's just like, oh, I can relate to this. I liked her inclusion. I liked this concept of it. It kind of falls a little slippery when the brother just kills his sister's fiance or husband and then just kind of squirrels away. There's a cool fight in the dark, which again, like, I can't believe that they shot something in the dark because Supernatural's just not used to doing that. The part where the episode kind of falls apart for me is at the end when there is that dilemma about what do they do with her. She just lost her whole family. She lost her husband and her brother in the same day. And they're like, well, Dean's like, well, we should kill her. And I'm like, bro, you just let a whole family of werewolves go who are doing the exact same thing. Admittedly, a little bit, because this lady is just and it's disgusting. It looks terrible and it's not very subtle. So I can kind of understand Dean's thing about it, whereas Sam is like, no, we should let her live because she hasn't done anything wrong. Their resolution is to send her back to Peru, but she left Peru so she didn't have to eat and kill people. So I feel like they got about 80% of the way and they just didn't know how to end it, because then there's also this conversation at the end of the episode about the moralities and how Dean is again gaslighting Sam and trying to justify everything he did to keep him alive, and like, if we were in the same position, you do the same for me. And Sam's like, no, I'm a bigger picture person. And that kind of does reflect on just how Dean and Sam have been throughout the entire show. Dean is the one who gave his soul for 1 year so we could bring Sammy back. Sam is the one who thought that by teaming up with Ruby, he was doing the right thing to save the world, and he's also the one who was willing to jump into the pit. Sam is the bigger picture person in every regard, and that is something that is very evident in this. And it just kind of seems like it's supposed to be a battle of morals, and the whole time I'm just like, yeah, Sam's in the right. Dean, you're a dick. Like I said, I feel like the episode kind of falls apart. It doesn't really keep as much of its holding as it did, despite the fact of really good opening, really cool monster concept. I don't know, I feel like this episode is a decent episode. It's not a bad one, but it's not overly good because it kind of falters on the landing. So I'm going to give The Purge, again, a very strange title choice, a 4 out of 7. But those are my thoughts about this episode. Let's see what you guys have to say.
Purge sadly refers here to both the physical process to rid the body of toxins and waste often undertaken as a part of extreme dieting, and not the awful franchise about lawlessness. And still, the episode is a fun, heart-filled monster of the week that introduces Supernatural's cop adjacent to Zootopia, Judy Hopps. Oh, fudge, that's actually a good comparison. Her journey of wanting the weight loss is both heartbreaking and very well acted. I always love these kind of episodes because it shows how monsters utilize their abilities to help mankind, even though the villain being a sibling to one of the fish taco is weak, it's still, yeah, very agreeable. It's still a fun episode. Most notably, fans forget that Sam spitefully brings up Lisa to Dean. When Dean unites with Lisa, he tells Sam that it was the bendiest week of his life. Then in this episode, Sam mentions Dean is not only the one who dated someone bendy. It just adds more to Dean's guilt of past mistakes as well. Oh, that's a reference to that? Oh, in this episode, getting heavy drinking. The end scene is particularly very strong because Dean is being called out once again for selfish behavior. It really hits hard when Sam tells him that he wouldn't try to pull Dean out from self-sacrificing himself, but it's honestly important for Dean to really put into perspective that he needs to stop being an anti-hero and be a better person. No, very good points. Like I said, like I like that bit, but like I don't know. I think it's kind of just like an adjacent thing, and it just keeps on coming up. The Purge. This episode was basically a rehash of a previous episode of a creature that wants to coexist with humans, while another doesn't want to, but put this episode for more weaker. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this episode comes right after the Garth one, so I feel it's kind of like, eh. Enjoyed seeing Donna appear in the story about her, and hearing the story about her husband leaving her. I did connect with her. I'm glad that Sam decided to stand up for Marissa. He's right. She shouldn't have to pay for her brother's crimes, and I'm glad that he called out Dean for selfish behavior, and the reason for him saving himself is because he doesn't want to be alone. And yeah, I get it that, yes, he's standing up for her, but sending her back to Peru doesn't help. She's gonna go back to eating people. That's the part about it that I was like, that you didn't really solve anything, guys. Aside from some funny moments with Dean as a cafeteria worker, this episode is a meh episode. There's many storylines happening in this season, and this should have had more focus. Yeah, like I said, kind of a little bit more fine-tuning, right?
Okay, guys, thank you for your comments. Now we've got Captives next. Make sure to give me your guys' thoughts about that episode in the comments below, and I'll read those out in the next review. Hope you guys are doing well. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and if you're interested in more, subscribe. Share it as well if you want to. And again, like I mentioned before, we've got a Discord server, so we'll be talking about both Supernatural and other stuff. The link for that is in the description below, so make sure to check that out. Anyways, guys, that's all from me. See y'all next time.